All right, everyone, welcome back to Down on the Sidelines. Here at the home sidelines from my bedroom is Matt Crawley, aka your boy Matt Yacy, checking in during free agency.
And yes, indeed, free agency is going wild. It's a free agency frenzy out here in the NFL, but here on the away sideline, Stevens Point, is Brenden Metzoff, aka Brett's Golf 99 Brett's Brendini. Bunch of different names. It's been a while since we've done one of these episodes, Matt. The GOAT debate was our last episode that we did. And yeah, we covered a lot of pretty great stuff in that one. Check out that episode if you guys haven't already. But yeah, episode 3 here in season 3, and free agency, it's huge. Today we're going to be mainly talking about our two teams, as well as the really big moves that have happened, as well as contract extensions and other free agents who are out there, and maybe talk about who these possible free agents are going to sign with. But let's begin today with Matt. I don't even know where to start.
I know. Honestly, before we get started to this, make sure you go check us out on Instagram and TikTok. On TikTok, it's podcast, I'm pretty sure, where I've been keeping up every day, around maybe every hour or so, with free agency signings, trades, all the good stuff, all the good juicy stuff. I actually got to post one that probably after this about something that we actually got to talk in this. So make sure, please go follow our TikTok. Please follow us on Instagram. We'll probably be posting our TikToks there, our Instagrams as Reels. Obviously, we all know I think everyone here is from the United States, that there's going to be a ban on TikTok or yada, 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 whatever that is. So just make sure, go check us out on YouTube at Down on the Sidelines on YouTube and Down on the Sidelines podcast on Instagram. But without further ado, let's get right into this with the first move that really started off this free agency frenzy. Is Russell Wilson is signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 1-year, $1.2 million deal, which is extremely cheap if you're the Steelers. But you got to remember, the whole contract is basically being paid by the Denver Broncos. I said this in my TikTok, so I want to get Brendan's thoughts because he doesn't really react to them. So I just want to get his thoughts, and probably more so of him talking, giving more of my feedback, really. So, Brenden, what do you think about this deal?
Well, I want to say that congratulations to Russell Wilson for finding another team to play for, because although this guy, he can be super cringy with the things that he says, he is such an amazing personality of a person. So a big congratulations there to Russell Wilson. He has so much gratitude and all of that. And he just loves to follow the journey that he's on. But hey, it's now Steelers country. Let's well, that's the new situation that's going to be going on there in Pittsburgh. But it makes me very curious what they're going to be doing with Kenny Pickett. Is Kenny Pickett going to be going away? Is he going to stay as a backup? Is he going to be a starter for a while? Like, is there going to be a competition between both of these guys as the starter for the team? But this is a huge loss for the Denver Broncos, though. They lost this trade that they made with Seattle back in 2022. They lost it so bad. Putting in over $200 million on Russell Wilson on that 4-year contract, and then absolutely taking a crap in the bed. I'm going to pardon my language. I was very close to saying a different word there. But I think for the Steelers, this is a pretty good sign of things ahead for them. And I think that the combination of Russell Wilson and Mike Tomlin, who has been a phenomenal head coach ever since he had started his job, not a single losing season, I think this is pretty good news for Pittsburgh. And they've had more signings too along the way. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah. Honestly, we're not going to try to go in so much in detail about these. But yeah, there's your hearing from Brenden. Excuse me, my camera's wiggling. I'm currently recording this on my lap in my bed, as I said. But next,
Hey, it's a pretty comfortable setting for you, though.
yeah, it is. I'll say it's comfortable. Next, we got Saquon Barkley signing with division rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles, 3 years, $37.75 million.
Yeah, this one, I am very surprised. Tiki Barber, he was also surprised. He ended up saying something about, hey, you're dead to me, Saquon. Like, something just like that. If you go from a team in a division to their opposing rival, essentially, like, that's what Barkley did. But you were talking to me earlier about this tampering thing earlier, which we'll go over pretty soon here. But Saquon Barkley, his home is in Pennsylvania. I mean, he went to Penn State for college, and I mean, that's where he's gained all of his talent. Him with Trace McSorley on that team, just an amazing squad. Won a Rose Bowl, like super cool. But I think since Pennsylvania is his home, this signing makes sense. And let's talk about too. The Eagles, they ended up getting rid of DeAndre Swift, so he's not on that team anymore. Yeah, he's on the Bears now. So the Eagles, they needed to sign one of these big running backs, and hey, this free agency was huge when it came to running backs, which we'll talk about more of those pretty soon here. But I like the move that the Eagles made.
Yeah, and this free agency seems like, all right, you get released, you're getting picked up by a divisional rival. That's not what it seems right now. Like, Jordan Poyer is going to Miami. Aaron Jones is in Minnesota. DeAndre Swift is in Detroit. I mean, well, was in Detroit, but now is in Chicago. And the NFC North just has, like, all, like, the weird running backs. Like, Montgomery used to play for the Bears. Swift used to play for the Lions, is on the Bears now, and Jones is on the Vikings. But the next one is Kirk Cousins signed a 4-year, $188 million deal with the Atlanta Falcons. Honestly, this one is very weird because he is also the other one that's involved with illegal tampering, so we'll explain that a little later. But honestly, as a Vikings fan, I want to keep Kirk Cousins here in Minnesota. Well, in Minnesota, not here in Minnesota. I'm in Wisconsin. But in Minnesota.
I know what you mean with your team that you love.
But yeah, it's unfortunate, but honestly, if you haven't seen, he had chains that said "Dirty Birds" on it, so
his kids had chains on too.
I know.
I was like, yo, his kids, they're looking flying decked out. Like, hey, they're gonna be living the life in Atlanta from the looks of it. But I want to say this too. I swear to you, in that video that he sent when he said like, "Thank you Vikings fans, thank you Minnesota," he was at like Augusta National or something, because there's a picture behind him that was like amen corner of the golf course, and he was wearing a golf polo. So the dude had to have been playing a round of golf, and I'm not backing down from it. I've told you this many times off camera. I think he might have played somewhere, but the thing about Augusta National is it's a private golf course. So, but maybe since Kirk Cousins signed his contract, maybe there is a small thing in his contract that says that you can play a round of golf at Augusta National, which, for me being a golfer, that is a dream of mine. But I like the signing that the Falcons made. I don't think anyone was really surprised that he went to Atlanta.
That was his most favorable spot to land. And obviously, well, Desmond Ridder got traded to the Cardinals, so just today.
Yeah, that just happened today.
Yeah, there's so much that's happening that we cannot physically cover everything because it's just going to take forever.
I have my phone off to the side of me in case there's breaking news that pops out in the middle. So, yeah, Kirk Cousins to Atlanta. $180 million. I think that's a little too much, if you ask me. You were just telling me it was so much more than Tom Brady when he was with Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, I told you this, but when Kirk Cousins plays his full 4 years in Atlanta, he's going to made $422 million in total earnings in the NFL. Tom Brady has only earned $338 million, to put in perspective.
And dude has won 7 Super Bowls, and Kirk Cousins has only won 1 playoff game.
Exactly. But
like, put that into perspective. I just want to ask you this though, like, you being a Vikings fan, like, how did this really make you feel when this ended up happening?
So I basically knew we were going to lose Kirk Cousins just because I followed so many Vikings accounts on Instagram and TikTok, and just be like, well, he won a home crowd discount deal, but he was looking for over $100 million to stay in Minnesota, and he won a long-term deal, and we're like, well, we're not going to commit to you long-term. First off, you're getting old. Second off, this is a phenomenal QB draft class. Third off, we don't have the money for you. Fourth off, we were trying to pay Justin Jefferson. So I knew his time in Minnesota was really limited. And once the offseason started, I'm just like, yeah, he's probably not going to stay with us. Once he said, hey, he wants a hometown discount, we're like, okay, here's like 2 years, $90 million. He said, no. So basically, the Falcons doubled that and gave that to him.
And you're definitely going to take the money like 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, for some players. But I knew this was happening. It was just a matter of when it would happen. It happened day 2 of free agency, I'm pretty sure. Or day 1, late day 1, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so
gotcha.
I knew it was coming, so...
I just didn't know that you, like, would have saw this coming, because once it happened, you told me, you're texting me, I don't want to talk about it, man. So maybe it's just like the stages of grief or something that you're going through, but I was just kind of surprised that, like, based on what you just told me, like, you actually saw what was going to be happening.
Yeah, I knew he was going to go to Atlanta. I mean, that was like his most talked about landing spot besides Minnesota. And once they weren't working things out in Minnesota, I was like, he's not going to be a Vikings. He's going to be a Falcon. Which, funny enough, is my second favorite NFC team, but yeah. But going on to that.
Was it because of Brett Favre or something that they're your second favorite?
Because of the Falcons?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The Falcons,
because when I was younger, I had the same name as Matt Ryan. I wanted a Matt Ryan jersey for the longest time.
No, dude, it caught out when you were saying that, so I don't know what you said.
Okay, well, for Brendan's sake, my internet's really crappy at my house, so I do apologize. But when I saw that Matt Ryan had the same name as me, I thought that was the coolest.
Oh, man, you got it.
So I was like,
I got
Matt
you.
Ryan, I like the Falcons though. I want a Matt Ryan jersey for like 5 years. Like I liked Matt Ryan a lot. And now we all know that I was cheering for the Falcons in the Super Bowl, so probably guess how I felt when they blew that lead. But
gotcha now. Sounds good. We can move on.
Anyways, going on to the next thing is that not a free agent signing, but T. Higgins has requested a trade. I don't know if you know anything about this, Brenden, but if you want to jump in, if you know any details that you know, because I think I got a good gist of what's happening.
All that I really know is, he requested a trade a few days ago from the Bengals, which it's kind of surprising to me, but I'm not sure if many people know this. But Joe Burrow's doctors reported that there was a lot more that was wrong with his wrist and his hand than people originally thought after that injury he suffered against the Ravens back in like October, November, or whenever that game was, about halfway through the season. But like the doctors were saying, like these injuries were like so like abnormal from what you typically see from like an NFL player with some kind of like tendinitis or like I'm not really sure to get into specifics because I'm not a doctor, but they're saying that this could possibly jeopardize his career a little more. So I'm surprised that this story hasn't really been talked about really, but I feel like that's almost something that's kind of led to into requesting a trade.
Yeah. So from what I've been understanding and from what I've seen and read is that They haven't had contract discussions since last March, so last year. And he hasn't. I guess he's just really fed up with the organization. I guess from what I hear is that the Bengals are trying to be a super cheap organization and try to pay like their star players for a lot less money. Besides, like you got to pay Jamar and Joe Burrow. But that's like kind of the big thing I've heard is that he's not happy with the organization. They're not looking for him to get contract extension. He was franchise tagged, and now he's requested a trade. So even if he doesn't get traded, he's going to be there for one more year, or he can opt out to sit out.
Interesting. I didn't know that Cincinnati, their organization was more so like, hey guys, even though you guys are doing awesome for us, and we're just not going to pay you as much money. And like, I understand that these NFL players get upset over something like that, but like, you're making so much more money than like 95, 98% of American citizens are. So like, there's got to be a lot more that goes on than just how much that you're actually paid in your contract, unless money just causes that much greed to people. But I'm glad you shared that because I didn't know that. So
yeah, so that's basically what's happening with T. Higgins. But probably the next biggest signing of free agency in my eyes is that Derrick Henry signed with the Baltimore Ravens, 2-year, 116, well not 116, but 16 to 20 mil and 9 million guaranteed. Super scary. I know, Brenden, you made a TikTok about this, saying that are they Super Bowl contenders? I mean, from the looks of it, I mean, try imagine trying to defend an RPO or a read option play with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. What are you gonna do?
exactly, there's literally nothing you can really do about it. And this was a really great signing from the Ravens. Like, to get a player of this type of caliber, I would say that you can almost grade this kind of move that Baltimore made as an A plus, because you were going from your other starting running back. His name is going right through my head. If you want to help me here,
he's with J.K. Dobbins, a free agent. Gus Edwards signed with the Los
Angeles. Gus Edwards, yeah. So Gus Edwards, he ended up signing over into LA, and then you don't really have a running back because, like you said, J.K. Dobbins free agent, and you got to get somebody off the market. How about none other than King Henry, the man himself? Like, this is such a great move on Baltimore's part, and I think they got him for a really good price. 16 to 20 million, only 9 million is guaranteed of that. And I think Baltimore was also one of the leading teams in salary cap space. So like, they've been able to make some moves. The only guy that they've really lost is Patrick Queen to Pittsburgh.
They just released Odell today, as of this morning. National Pie Day, 3.14.
They signed Odell?
Yeah, they released it. I guess he's being released on June 1st. Unless I did see the TikTok that I made this morning.
Like, just imagine the Ravens' offense next year, though. You got Lamar, you got Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews being back healthy. Like, seems like a pretty great offense to me.
Yeah, it is. It's on paper, it sounds like it should be the best offense.
It's gonna be up there for one of the best, and I got to bring this up to you. I was watching ESPN's First Take the other day, and Mad Dog was talking about how Lamar Jackson is not a top 3 AFC quarterback this year, even though he won the MVP.
Well, I can see that argument because he didn't have the best numbers through the air, but he had exceptional numbers through the ground, so that's why I think.
He's a more versatile player than almost.
That's why, but yeah, that's the main reason. It's more versatile. But you look at, I don't think anyone has won an MVP, or it was like since in the 1990s that someone has won MVP throwing less than 30 touchdowns. Like, he almost threw almost near a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, 27-7 ratio.
And I will say that like this year was a pretty down year for like these players and everything. But I think that's also because a lot more of the teams were actually like even and fair, and games were so much more competitive than last year from what I remember. So I mean, last year could have been like the first time we would have saw a defensive player win the NFL MVP award, but we all know it's a quarterback award. And Lamar Jackson was clearly the best quarterback in the regular season, which was why he got that award. But this Ravens offense is going to be dangerous next year. An A to an A+ grade for the Baltimore Ravens on their move.
Yeah. So next up, we're going to tackle both of these because they're actually on the same team. Mike Evans gets extended, and then Baker Mayfield gets extended as well. A 3-year, $100 million contract, which half of that is guaranteed, so $50 million. From what I understood is that Mike Evans was a free agent. I think a lot of people expected him to go to Kansas City. I think a lot of free agents were like, oh, well, he's probably the best receiver out there on the market. Let's go grab him for Kansas City because they don't have a true wide receiver one. But, I mean, Baker proved himself. I've said that in my video. I mean, Evans is an old guy. I think he's over 30 now.
I think he's 32.
32, 10 years in the league, 3 seasons with 1,000 yards receiving. So both of these guys well-deserved in my eyes.
Mike Evans is 30. Both of them do deserve it. 100% agreed. Baker Mayfield, he was totally deserving to get this contract extension. And just because he threw for over 4,000 yards, he almost had a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio as well. And he had a 94.6 overall rating. And
really good.
Just talk about the loyalty with Mike Evans, though. Like, to be tempted by all these other franchises, one who just won a Super Bowl, others who are, like, in that contention type of thing. Mike Evans, he's a dude for being loyal to his team and staying. I think he enjoys playing with Baker Mayfield. That's what I would guess, but here's the thing. Didn't he sign before Baker Mayfield extended?
He did. So I think from what I heard is that Evans was going to stay in Tampa if they were going to re-sign Baker. So once they say, hey, we're going to re-sign Baker, like they for free agency, so they re-sign Mike Evans, or it could have been vice versa. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think there was like a little plan that was built in there because Mike Evans, he had quite the year.
I mean,
this past season. So W for Tampa Bay as well to re-sign both of these guys because they well deserve it.
Yeah. But that will lead us into our next wide receiver, which is actually a receiver that was franchise sake, but then got an extension. Michael Pittman Jr. of the Indianapolis Colts. Well deserved. I like Pittman. He was on my fantasy team, so that's why I like him. But yeah, I mean, he's really that and JT are the only real weapons there. I mean, Anthony Richardson is coming back from injury. Gardner Minshew gets picked up in free agency by the Raiders. Now the Colts signed Joe Flacco. So it's just Anthony Richardson will probably be QB1. And probably Pittman, I would like to see him have a repeat of this year.
I agree with you on that. I think this is another great re-signing by the Colts. The Colts also added Joel Flacco. So if Anthony Richardson gets hurt, you got the guy coming off the couch once again. But I've just looked at Michael Pittman Jr.'s stats from last year. So he had 109 receptions for over 1,100 yards, 1,152, and he only had 4 touchdowns on the season. But like, once again, they were doing this Anthony Richardson the first few games, and then it was essentially
Gardner
Minshew the rest of the way. So I think this is another great signing. by the Colts. He's an underrated wide receiver, and I think it's because of the team that he plays for. But I think this team has a lot of great things that are ahead of them. I mean, they got close to winning the division last year. So
yeah, it was on a drop ball.
Rip. Yeah, that part's the part Colts fans don't want to talk about, but they got close, and signing him is going to bring them closer.
Yeah. So this will lead us to our last big one. I mean, we would love to cover everything, but we truly don't have 3 hours like Pat McAfee. But the last one is Christian Wilkins of the Miami Dolphins gets signed to the Las Vegas Raiders. This was one I don't think anyone expected because Wilkins was not on the Raiders' radar. I actually wanted Christian Wilkins for the Vikings because there's been interest that he was talking to us. We were talking to him. Well, his agent at least, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, ultimately, I think it was a 5-year, $110 million deal or a 4-year, $110 million deal, which is
good for him.
Before the time of Kirk Cousins was the biggest signing in free agency.
$110 million.
Yeah.
Good for him. Yeah. But I don't have too much to say about him too, except in our notes. It says Christian Willings.
Whatever. So you know what I mean.
It's kind of funny, but this dude, he's deserving of it. I mean, he's a really great player. I watched the Hard Knocks of the Miami Dolphins. He's got such a great character to him, tremendous athlete, funny guy, great personality all around. Like, you could almost compare this dude to like Russell Wilson, personality-wise. So, congrats to him on the Raiders, going to the Raiders. This is a tough loss for the Miami Dolphins, though. I think the Dolphins suffered a significant amount of losses this offseason, and it might come to bite them next year. And
I mean, I don't know how the Chiefs are going to defend Christian Wilkins and Max Crosby. That's going to be scary.
Yeah, 2 defensive ends of, I mean, just absolute beast in them.
Wilkins is a defensive tackle. He's interior.
Tackle and end. Who got beasts in them. But, yeah, like you said, that's pretty much all of, like, the really big moves that were covered. The ones that we haven't covered, there's still a few big ones that are in there. And we're just going to be talking about our teams for the rest of the way. Because what does this mean for the Packers' future? What does this mean for the Vikings' future?
Exactly. So, I guess... Start off.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, we can start off with the Vikings. Actually, let's start off with the Packers first because I think what else can lead right into my team. So.
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. So the biggest deals that the Green Bay Packers ended up making. The very first thing that ended up happening was the Packers ended up releasing Darnell Savage, and he got signed by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So like. We lost the safety. I mean, it kind of hurt for a while, and we're just like, okay, we're in search. We got to find some guy. And then we ended up releasing David Bakhtiari, and he's still a free agent who's out there. But in my head, actually out loud, I was even texting you about this. I was like, this is such a great move that the Packers made because this guy, he's only played like 4 games in the last like 2 seasons. In the league. It's kind of been pathetic seeing that he's barely been able to get out there and play. He's suffered those ACL injuries, all the knee injuries that he's had. It's been unfortunate for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up going to New York. And you know which team I'm talking about. But the next part of it is this is the big move. The Packers out of nowhere signed Josh Jacobs for 4 years, $48 million from the Raiders. And I was just like, what? Is this even real right now? I was getting super hyped about it because I'm like, yo, we got such an incredible backfield with us now. We got Aaron Jones. We got Josh Jacobs. I still don't know the news about A.J. Dillon. At all.
He's a free agent.
Okay, AJ Dillon, he's a free agent. No teams claimed him yet. But we had those two guys for about 25 minutes. So probably
35 minutes.
Probably one and a half years, 25 minutes for the Green Bay Packers fans to experience in 2024. Other than the 5 minutes in the third quarter, the first 5 minutes of the third quarter in the NFC divisional round. But then the very next thing that happens after that 25 minutes. Hang on a second.
Oh, he's gonna go grab it. Quick intermission, real quick. Do. Hey, he's back.
All right, so
I think,
the 25 minutes later,
jersey.
I'm celebrating with this jersey on, with this name on the back, And the Packers, this is what they did.
He's just gonna yeet it across his room. I'm calling it right now.
That's exactly what they did. Aaron Jones ended up getting released from the Packers. After contract restructuring, after taking a pay cut, being requested to take a pay cut again, Aaron Jones is like, I've done so much for you guys. Why are you guys treating me like this? I mean, I'm not sure what exactly he was thinking, but you can assume that it was this.
Yeah, I kind of know a little bit more of the inside because one of my buddies, he's literally best friends with Aaron Jones. So,
oh yeah.
So he's actually he wants to join us on the pod. He wants to come on for an episode. But basically, from what I've heard, is that his agent is like super scummy. Is like he just cares about money. So I was like, all right, I guess we can take a pay cut, then we can take the restructuring, but we're not going to take another one. And he's Aaron Judge's agent. He was Tom Brady's agent. So like, pretty famous, pretty good players.
Oh yeah,
in the leagues.
Just not Danny DeVito's agent.
No one will beat Danny DeVito's agent, I don't think.
But yeah, the Packers ended up releasing Aaron Jones after the 8 seasons that he spent with us, or 7 seasons.
I think it was 7.
It was a pretty incredible run that he had. He was actually one of my favorite Packer players of all time. Definitely for the time that he was on the team. I mean, he started with them and then he got released. So like, it sucked a lot, but I'm like, hey, you got Josh Jacobs, but we don't really have another running back who's behind him on that. So if Josh Jacobs gets hurt,
I think you guys might get Braylon Allen.
And that's what I'm thinking. The Packers have to be looking into the draft and looking to get a running back. And they've been talking to Braylon Allen a lot, the Wisconsin Badger. So like, it'd be cool to see him play with them. But this was still really tough news. To end up receiving, but that's what happened. And then about an hour or so later, the Packers ended up signing Xavier McKinney for 4 years for $67 million. That's the confirmed number, according to Rob Domofsky, ESPN reporter. And I'm like, this is a great move for us because since we just lost Darnell Savage, who is like, he's been good, but the last year or two, he was kind of not so great. He didn't play as much. He had injuries. And finally, with this Packers signing of McKinney, such a great player coming from the Giants. He's a young dude, too. I think there's so much to look forward to for this defense, and I'm super duper hyped about it. We also re-signed Keyshawn Nixon for years for $18 million. He is a former All-Pro. He has been doing so much great stuff for us to turn around our special teams game. Except when he gave us that scare in I think it was the fourth quarter of the Packers and 49ers game on that kickoff return, scared the bejesus out of me. That was just a roller coaster play all around. But he's really earned it. I think this is a great re-sign from Green Bay. Another defensive player we got to re-sign, cornerback Corey Valentine. Corey Valentine, he had a great fourth year out there, fourth year in his career. And I think he's been deserving to ball out too. I don't have the details on the contract, but I was very happy with that re-signing as well. We also re-signed Tyler Davis. I don't know much about Tyler Davis. I think he's one of those like third string tight end type of position players.
He's a special team. Yeah.
And going back to the last episode, I was going to say he's a special teamer like you said Travis Kelce was when he started his career. I just had to bring that up. But I would grade Green Bay's moves this free agency probably a B minus.
A B minus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, the biggest loss is by far Aaron Jones. I feel like we could have re-signed him. Because, I mean, we're going to go over it pretty soon here. I just don't want to steal the thunder from you. But it's just how much the Packers just, like, ended up, like, not caring to re-sign him for a value that's not even that much. Like, it is super shocking to me. His contract, he was already set up at 8.5, but once his contract got restructured, I believe he went down to like 6.5.
Yeah, 6.
It was.
I don't know if
it was 6 or 6.5.
Or it was like, if like I think he was getting paid 12, and I think they asked him to take a 50% pay cut, and that's when there was like, hey, we're gonna offer you $6 million this next season. I'm not entirely sure if that's what it was. From what I'm,
and your friend would probably know so much more about this, but I just didn't understand the move. We could have kept him, and we could, if we would have kept him, A+. All our hands down. I think that the way the Packers offense is set up is not for Josh Jacobs. I think it's more so for Aaron Jones. I told you this on the phone the other day. It seems like they're more revolved around Aaron Jones with the screen passes that they give to him. Josh Jacobs, he's not much of a receiving running back. He likes to run it.
I just want to have a quick question. Would you much rather have Aaron Jones or Josh Jacobs?
Aaron Jones or Josh Jacobs?
Yeah, who would you rather have?
Aaron Jones.
Okay. Because
this is probably a bias he's coming out of me.
Besides one, because there's one Packer fan that got in a huge heated argument with me. Because, first off, I posted when Aaron Jones got officially agreed to his contract and whatever. I said, welcome to the right side of the border. I actually spelled border wrong, yada, yada, yada. I was like, well, someone's a little bit mad. He's just saying, I'm much rather Josh Jacobs is a better running back. I was like, I didn't say this because I didn't know this about till last night, but like last season, like Josh Jacobs was like in bottom 5 in like every like category: attempts, yards per carry, touchdowns. Like he's like, yeah, 2 years ago he was a beast because he won the rushing title, but now he's like last year he was awful.
I think it's also because the Raiders went under so much. So many bad things around their organization. So like so many distractions with the the Raiders were there, and I mean they were a disaster of a team last year. Let's be honest. Like they were expecting Jimmy G to be doing the work for them. He only did the work for them for like 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, now he's suspended for the first 2 games of the season because of PEDs. And he's a free agent now as well.
He's a free agent now too.
Yeah,
so
Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell are gonna have a quarterback battle. So
yeah, I think I think a B minus is a pretty good grade for the Packers in the offseason. They did make moves though, which they don't typically do.
No, I was
And
gonna say Packers are
I
a bit more
love,
quiet in free agency.
I'll be honest, I love that they made like so many of these surprising moves. Like signing Josh Jacobs before Jones even got released was like, whoa. Like no one would have expected that ever. So I just love the boldness that the Packers had. I do think Brian Gutekunst went a little too bold.
Yeah, you know what they say when one man's trash is another man's treasures. Basically, I woke up the second day of free agency. My buddy just said, "Y'all just signed him." I was like, "There's no way that we did not just sign him." And I look up, and the first thing that pops up on my feed is from the Vikings. The Vikings and Aaron Jones have agreed to a 1-year, $7 million deal. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I kind of ruined it because I was talking about it before. But yeah. But anyways, honestly,
Dude, I don't even know. I don't even know what to do with this anymore, man.
paint it purple.
I seriously don't.
Paint it purple. It's the only right thing to do.
I'm not. Dude, Aaron Jones, like I said, he was one of my favorite players. And I don't want to say that the key word is was. Still love the dude, but I don't know, man. I think I gotta go through my text messages because I've been told a bunch of different things to do with the jersey. Somebody told me to burn it. A bunch of people told me to dye it. I'm not burning the jersey. Like, dude, inflation, this stuff's gonna cost like $140 in the next year. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. But, getting back, I'm actually going to quick look on Instagram real quick, see if anything has happened. As I am up destroying. But, yeah, Eric Armstead just got signed by the Jaguars. 3-year, $51 million deal. So, Dak Prescott's under investigation for sexual assault and back in 2017. So,
Is it rookie year?
yeah, I think so. Browns are signing former Steelers Seahawks linebacker Devin Bush to a 1-year deal. That's really much what I'm saying on Instagram. But anyways, back to my point. I'm going to start with our losses because I think the people that we did lose were kind of significant, especially our first two. So obviously the big one we talked about was Kirk Cousins signed with the Atlanta Falcons, which puts us in a quarterback spiral. Who's going to be our quarterback? Even though we did sign one during free agency, it's not the one I wanted. Obviously, I kind of gave my thoughts. Just going to keep that nice and short. Second one is that we lost to Neil Hunter free agency. I mean, when you have this many guys, this many stars on one team, they're all contracts are coming to an end at the same time. You got to lose some people. So I knew we were going to lose Neil Hunter. I knew we were going to lose Kirk Cousins. So Neil Hunter goes to the Texans, which is, I mean, I'm happy for him. I made a separate video on that. Next, I know we lost Marcus Davenport. He was on a 3-year deal from New Orleans. He gets picked up by Detroit. I could really care less about Davenport. Davenport was a pain in our butt this season. Plays the first 2 games, plays the first 3 games, gets injured, is back, saying that he doesn't want to play because he doesn't like playing football, so he just sits out for the rest of the season. Whatever. Could really care less about Davenport. The other one I kind of sad is that Jordan Hicks got picked up by the Cleveland Browns. So I mean, Hicks was he came from Arizona, 2-year deal, did really good this past year, and even the year before that. I mean, Hicks won Defensive Player of the Week 2 times this past year, so obviously that is a huge thing. But I still like what we picked up, though. Like I said, first thing that we got that running back, Aaron Jones, 1-year, $7 million deal. We got ourselves a new edge rusher, Jonathan Grenard. I think it's Greenard. 4-year, $76 million deal. So we went all in because this is supposed to be our Daniil Hunter, and basically what happened is that we swapped edges. That's what we really did without trading them. Basically, if we wanted to, we could have just been, all right, we'll trade Daniil Hunter for Jonathan Greenard and yada, yada, yada. Next, we picked up 2 linebackers. The first one is Andrew Van Ginkel, Wisconsin Badger. 2-year, $20 million. I really like this because DJ Wadham is on free agency, I'm pretty sure. And Jordan Hicks is gone. And Ivan Pace Jr., our undrafted rookie, did phenomenal this past year. So I'm really excited for that combo. Along with Cashman, Minnesota native. I'm pretty sure I played for Minnesota Golden Gophers, so this is going to be a homecoming reunion for him. 3-year, $25.5 million deal. I like this. Cashman is one of the better coverage backers. Which, if you don't know Brian Flores, he likes to sack people in the box, sack 8. It looks like he's going to engage 8 and then drop off into like 9 defenders when you have 2 people rushing. Mm-hmm. That, and the one I don't really like is Sam Darnold. There's a reason that they signed him at 1 in the morning. I literally woke up, saw the Aaron Jones because that was the most recent. I literally go to the next one and it says Sam Darnold, and it was like 8 hours ago. Mind you, this is at 9:30 in the morning, so I was like, "Oh, that's 1 in the morning."
Well, you guys got to figure that you're going to be drafting a quarterback in the draft.
Sure. I don't care what anyone else says, like NFL Network, ESPN, all these mock drafts. I was like, Minnesota is not going to be drafting Dallas Turner from Alabama. I'm sorry, we're not drafting another edge rusher. We'd be stupid too. I would like either J.J. McCarthy. These are my top 3. J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, or Michael Penix. Any of those 3, because I think those are going to be the 3 that are going to be available. Caleb Williams is going to be gone. Drake May is going to be gone, and Jaden Daniels is going to be gone. Like 3 quarterbacks probably within the top 7 picks are going to be gone.
Yep.
But if we're rating this, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Vikings have been one of the most active, going out there. I know we just got another guy from the Chargers. It was a 1-year, $13 million deal. I mean, we've been super into free agency. I know this is kind of like weathering out the Rick Spielman into our new GM, like the Spielman Zimmer era into the, I don't even know how to pronounce our GM's name, but the KOC type of person. And Brian Flores has been active. I mean, there's 2 offensive players on here that we signed. The other 3 are defense.
Which, well, yeah, dude. I just looked up you guys' GM. Yeah, dude.
It's weird. It's like Kawaki Apseed. I'm not even gonna pronounce it.
Kwesi Adolfo.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it, dude.
Everyone just calls him Kwesi. But yeah.
Gotcha.
It's the Kwesi and KOC era. But yeah. It's that I'm just looking at Instagram, see if anything's happening. Brock Purdy got married in other news, so congratulations to Brock Purdy. But if we're rating overall how the Minnesota is, I would give them an A-. I mean, the people that we lost, I mean, Daniil Hunter, I mean, is a huge part. Kirk Cousins, another huge part. But that doesn't outweigh the people that we picked up, which I really like.
For you guys right now, I feel like I can't give them a grade. I think it depends what they do in the draft.
The Vikings?
Because, yes. Because,
so if we're just basing this off of free agency, I'm giving them an A-. Their pickups have been really good. I mean, Harrison Smith just restructured the contract to stay with the Vikings this next season. I think he's going to retire because he's 35 years old. This is probably going to be his last year as in the league. He's 35.
His final hoorah. Yeah.
And I would love to see him. He's going to be a Vikings for life. But I just, from what I've been seeing, okay, we lose Daniil Hunter. We get Jonathan Greenard. That's not that big of a deal. Okay, we switch edges.
It's a pretty good pickup.
It's a good pickup. He's a super underrated edge from the Texans. He had 12.5 sacks. We lose Jordan Hicks. Okay, we lost a linebacker. We get 2 linebackers. We get Andrew Van Ginkel, and we get Blake Cashman. Great.
No.
I mean, Davenport, we got that guy from the Chargers. I don't really know much about him, but Davenport is like dead meat. The only thing that does really weigh is that we got Sam Darnold and we lost Kirk Cousins. That's the only major downfall.
Yeah, for me, that's why I'm saying, like, it really depends what you guys do in the draft. If you guys get a quarterback in the draft, say, I'm going to say J.J. McCarthy or Bo Nix. I think that's going to be a move. But if you guys pick them up, you develop them the way that ends up working really well, I would give you guys an A for this grade. But right now, I would ungrade this.
Well, I would say for you, because you guys have one running back in the backfield right now. That's only Josh Jacobs.
Yes, true.
Like, so you saying like giving them a B- is saying that you can't grade them. It's like me saying I can't grade them. But we don't know what the draft's going to hold. We don't know what.
No, I'm not saying that you can't grade them. I'm saying that's what I would give the grade. Because Sam Darnold, he is not going to be he should not be a starting quarterback. He just shouldn't.
He's a bridge quarterback. That's what what they say. He's a bridge quarterback. So he's just there because he's a vet. He's a veteran. So he has the knowledge of the league. So whatever, obviously, we must try to have Kirk Cousins be that vet. But we're still going to get a rookie. I'm 100% positive that we're going to draft a rookie with pick number 11 unless we trade up.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, though, that, like, the level of Sam Darnold in his game is by far way different than Josh Jacobs. Like, Josh Jacobs, he actually serves as a starter. Sam Darnold, likely not going to. That's why I wouldn't grade it yet.
Well, I'm going to grade A- because there's more things that are heavier on the good side than they are on the bad side. Like, Danielle Hunter and Jonathan Greer, they cancel out. Okay, Jordan Hicks, we got 2 linebackers. I mean, that basically cancels out, but more on the good signings. We got a running back. That's what we needed, so that's another good thing. I mean, Davenport I could care less about because Davenport isn't good.
And, like, I'm totally in agreement with that. Like, I think you guys make good moves on the offense and the defense, but the key piece you need is a quarterback. Like, Sam Darnold, he's not the guy.
Well, I'm not saying that he's our guy. I'm just saying that he's a bridge quarterback.
That's why I can't. This is why I can't grade it.
$80 million deal.
This is my argument of why I can't grade it, though. Like, you don't. Like, obviously, we don't know. But Sam Darnold, he's not the guy. And if you were talking about how I graded the Packers, well, Josh Jacobs, he is the guy. There's not another guy that you're going to sign that would go ahead of Josh Jacobs.
I think
or pick
many different guys that can sign ahead of Josh Jacobs.
But Josh Jacobs serves as a starter. Like, he's going to be the starting running back for the Packers.
Yeah, but you also got to realize that the QB market for this year is so, like, small. Like, okay, Justin Fields ruined his chance of getting traded from Chicago. Cousins was their only bet, really. Wilson was a possibility. He got signed even before free agency started. It's just that if you're basing this only off of, because, yes, I'm saying that Sam Darnold is a bridge. The draft has not come yet. You're bringing to the fact, like, well, we got to see what the draft does. This is only free agency right now. Like, we're not.
You guys lost your starting quarterback. Like,
yeah, I know.
You don't have him.
You also got to realize he's coming off of a torn Achilles. This is something serious. You got to realize that. Like, we don't know because he's also 35 years old and coming off an injury. So you don't know how much this is going to affect him. Like I said, we would love to have Kirk Cousins back. Am I saying that he's not good? No, he is good. I'm gonna say before he even got hurt, I think he was in the MVP conversation. But we can't. We're just basing this off of free agency. Like Sam Darnold, okay, yes, he's our QB1 for right now, behind with Nick Mullins and Jaron Hall. Like you can't say this where it's ungraded. You can't ungrade us because we gotta wait for the draft. I don't.
Dude, why are you telling me what I can and can't do? Like,
because it's not fair.
I'm totally.
If you're saying that you can't grade mine because we're missing a key aspect of our offense, then you should be able to do the same thing for you. Because
no,
have a left tackle.
Huh?
Do you guys not have a left tackle now, or even a left guard?
Yeah, we do. We have a left tackle.
What's his name?
John Runyon.
Brother, he's with the Giants now.
What?
Yeah, he signed with the Giants. Yeah, John Runyon Jr.'s got signed with the Giants. Oh, ESPN. What's that? Oh, that's the Eric Armstead deal.
All right, we got Rasheed Walker.
Okay, isn't that right side of line, or is he a?
Huh?
Is he a right tackle?
No, he's a left tackle. It's him and then Elton Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins is a guard, isn't he? Pretty sure Elton Jenkins is a guard. But anyways, if you're saying we still technically have all the spots filled. I mean, what are you supposed to do when there's not better options out there? Like, there's a reason that we only signed to a 1 year, $10 million deal. Like, there's a reason we do that.
Well, yeah.
Because you also got to remember, we still got to pay Justin Jefferson. We still got.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is that he hasn't, like, last year he declined a $30 million plus contract. That's on him. Like, we offered him more than $30 million per year before the start of the season. He declined that. But you gotta realize this, that he wants to see what the future is with the roster, see what their plans is. I think honestly he wants to go out and get a ring. He's the best wide receiver in the league. I understand that. Does going from Kirk Cousins to Sam Darnold help? No, not really. But based off of free agency, I'm giving them an A-.
But I'm totally fine with you giving that grade. You're getting upset that I'm not giving a grade.
You're saying that I can't grade them because I have to see what you guys do in the draft. We're not talking about the draft. We are strictly saying about free agency. Do you see my point?
I see what you're talking about, but I am saying the quarterback is the most important position that is out there. You guys lost your starter. You guys picked up a guy who is likely to be your backup. We have no idea yet. So, there's a missing piece.
We got rid of our starter and we got another starter.
But we don't know if he's going to be a starter.
As of right now, yes. It's no difference than Taylor Heineke beating Kirk Cousins down in Atlanta.
All right.
Yes,
I'll grade you.
Yes, to be downplay quarterback. I'm not saying that Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. That's not what I'm saying.
I'll give you guys a grade based on these moves. You're not going to like what I'm going to say.
You're going to say a C+, C-. That's what you're going to say because of Sam Darnold. That's why.
Yeah.
It has been good.
Yeah. I'm giving it a C+.
Aaron Jones.
I am giving it a C+.
The only bad thing is that, your guys are at A-. The one thing you got wrong is that you guys signed Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold sucks.
And I signed Sam Darnold, Adrian Peterson, Jerry Rice. So you gotta call that a C-. But when you have 4 great pickups and you have one, okay, maybe that's an iffy pickup, you're gonna give that a C-?
They were all good pickups, like except for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold. Matt, right now.
The adult is talking right now.
No, right now, Sam Darnold is the starting quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. Right now. How are the Vikings going to perform with Sam Darnold as the starting quarterback? Because I'm going to say this. After Kirk Cousins got injured last year, you guys put in all your other quarterbacks. Yeah, you had the pass not get to do stuff, but then you had these other guys. You guys didn't perform. This is Sam Darnold we're talking about.
After year,
Sam Darnold did not. Sam Darnold is not qualified to be the starting quarterback. He's not. Right now, he is your guys' starting quarterback. Right?
Yes, and like I said, he's a bridge quarterback.
But this is why I didn't give you guys a grade, because I don't know who your starting quarterback's going to be. And the quarterback is the most essential position to have. That's why I'm giving you guys.
There's four. There's four.
Okay.
And there's one if. There's one iffy thing. You are completely basing off their free. Well, technically there's five, because the interior D line's got to beat out America's ever. There's five goods, and there's one iffy, which I kind of we were going to go after Sam Darnold if we could get Kirk Cousins. I don't understand what you're trying to say. You can't give it a C- because it's because Sam Darnold's there.
Dude, Sam Darnold is like an F,
buddy.
Sam Darnold's an F, bro.
Okay. I don't know if you watch. I don't know if you listen or watch Pat McAfee a lot, but
I listened to it a little bit.
NFL films, and they said they did Sam Darnold dirty. Because honestly, he said, I see ghosts. Yes, that's when I think he, don't quote me on this, I think he declared for the draft when he was 19 years old. Don't quote me on it. Pretty sure he was, but honestly, you come in, Jets, horrible. They were talking about the Adam Gase, like, foundation and all that. Like, honestly, that's like,
Yeah.
That's not a good thing for Darnold, first off. Second off, He goes to Carolina, like Frank Reich, I think. No, not even. I forgot who it was in Carolina. Might have been Ron Rivera. I'm not entirely sure. But then he goes 1 year to San Fran. He's a backup for Purdy. You gotta count that everyone that basically comes from the Sean McVay tree is good. Like
you're implying that you aren't implying that Sam Darnold is good.
No, I'm not saying that he's good. I'm saying you have to say, because even though they said that, hey, they saw things like Kevin O'Connell, like right before we started recording. I was watching the Vikings press conference, all their moves in free agency. They were talking about Sam Darnold. There's like, yes, there's things that he still needs to improve on, but like he said, any experience is good experience. Someone that's been in the league for 7 years now? Or 8 years? He was drafted in 2018. So 6 years. That's 6 years of NFL experience. But I'm saying he's not a bridge quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to be good. Am I saying that we might suck this year? We could be. But you can't give me an ungrade when everything is filled out and everything for you guys is filled out.
But it's the quarterback. Like, the quarterback is the primary position in the league. And dude, Sam Darnold is currently your guys' starting quarterback. Sure, Aaron Jones, that is an A-plus pickup for you guys. 100% an A-plus pickup for you guys. Jonathan Gennard, also a great pickup. I give him an A. 12.5 sacks last year, very good. Andrew Van Ginkel, I would rate a B-plus. B-plus pickup for you guys. Like, that's good. Then Blake Cashman, I'll give you guys a B on that. Sam Darnold is an F, though. Sam Darnold is a big, fat F.
Down to a freaking C-.
Because Sam Darnold's the primary position. I'm not bringing the grades based on how many people you pick up. It's based on the actual balance of the position.
So
The
you're
quarterback.
basically Sam Darnold a C-, and that's all you're looking at.
Huh?
You're basically looking at Sam Darnold and say, okay, this is the only bad thing, and just for that, they're getting a C- because they made mediocre picks otherwise.
It's the quarterback. It's the quarterback, dude. The quarterback is like... Dude, I don't even know what a great comparison is with a quarterback. The quarterback is like the CEO of a business. Like, that's how important the quarterback is. The quarterback runs the offense. Sure, like, the defense is a separate thing, but the quarterback is how you basically score your points. Right now, he is your guys' starting quarterback.
Yes! And you can't say,
Yes.
okay, everyone else, our running back's great, our receivers are A++. Tight end is good. I mean, well, once he gets back healthy. I mean, we signed Johnny Mundt. But you can't just look and say, okay, good. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Oh, that's a good pickup. Oh, that's another good pickup.
Dude, you want to hear some numbers? You want to hear some numbers?
That's the worst thing I've ever seen in the world. C-.
You want to see some numbers on Sam Darnold in his career, buddy?
Yeah, he hasn't started in, what, 3 years?
Yeah, but let's talk about his touchdown and interceptions. 63 touchdowns, 56 INTs.
Okay, you gonna keep on going?
That's horrible.
Yeah, I know it's horrible. But
He's got a 59% completion rating, but dude sees ghosts on the field. Like, this guy's your starting quarterback right now.
yeah. And
Do you see where I'm coming from?
yeah, because he's an okay QB. He's a below average QB.
He's a well below average QB.
You can't say anything about okay. Because I'm gonna go back to Josh Jacobs real quick. Josh Jacobs, yes, he's your guy. There's no one behind him. I'm not saying that if he gets hurt or he will get hurt, it's like, okay, who's supposed to back him up? Because there goes your whole run game. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but he's not injured right now.
I know. Like with us,
You're basing this on what ifs. I'm basing this on what time currently looks like right now.
yes, and you're saying that this is probably one of the worst free agent groups that you've seen, is what you're basically saying.
I never said that. I never said this is one of the worst free agent groups. Huh?
A C- is pretty darn bad.
It's because of Sam Darnold, dude.
So, okay, let's say this. Let's say if a random team, they sign Derek Henry. Those are the names I was coming up with. Let me think. Same caliber. Let's go with Max Crosby, for example. This is all for examples. So you got Derek Henry, Max Crosby. We're gonna throw in Zadarius Smith. Actually, not Zadarius Smith. Let's throw in Van Ginkel for right now, just because he's the only other one. And let's throw in Eric Kendricks as well. So that's 4. And for the QB, let's just throw in, I don't know, let's just say Nick Mullins. How would you rate that? Like, if those were all free agency pickups, how would you rate that? Derrick Henry, Max Crosby, Andrew Van Ginkel, Eric Kendricks, and Nick Mullins. If one team got all those 5 players, how would you rate that?
What's the team?
What's the team?
Yes.
Okay, let's stick with the Vikings. The Vikings.
The Vikings?
Or let's do this. How about we do the Bears because of Justin Jefferson? Not
Justin Fields. So they get rid of Justin Fields.
Yeah, say they got rid of Justin Fields. Hypothetically, they got rid of Justin Fields. Chicago doesn't have a quarterback. Derrick Henry, Max Crosby, Andrew Van Ginkel, Eric Kendricks, and Nick Mullins.
I'm just looking up Nick Mullins numbers. Yeah, he's basically like Sam Darnold. I would probably give it like a C, dude.
So you're basically basing this whole thing off of the quarterback, is what I'm basically hearing.
The quarterback is important.
So
is it not?
The other position, the running back.
I get all the other positions are important, but the quarterback is the primary position.
Oh my gosh, you're just blowing my mind right now. It's like,
but it is Justin
Max
Fields.
Crosby, two of some of the best in their positions. Nah, that's a C minus. You're just.
It's on one side.
You're basically solely looking at this just based off the QB. Everything else is B and above. Aaron Jones, A+. Jonathan Greenard, I think you said A, I believe, or A minus. Andrew Van Ginkel, plus.
Dude, I don't think you understand how important the quarterback is.
I know how important it is. But just because
it sounds like you don't.
I do know how important it is. But when you're looking at a free agency chart that you have picked up, okay, well, a quarterback is better than no quarterback. But you're just saying, okay, screw the 4 other guys. They kind of help a little bit, but that...
I'm not saying screw the other guys. The other guys are really great pickups. They are. But the quarterback is the primary position. The quarterback is what gives you guys your points on offense. They are. They're the one who calls the plays.
Yes, I know that they call the plays.
They orchestrate the plays.
But it's not fair to say, oh, well, sorry, hold on.
Yeah, I should have just kept it ungraded.
See, that's not fair. Because you can't say something.
What do you mean that's not fair? Why can't I give my own grade? That's crazy.
You have to do basically the same thing to the Packers. Running back. They have one running back. We have one quarterback.
A quarterback that's not good. The Packers running back is at least a good running back.
Yeah, but he's still a quarterback, though. And he's still a running back. Yes, it helps your case because he's a better running back.
We already have a quarterback. We already have a quarterback. There's no need. Jordan Love's our guy.
Like, I know Jordan Love is your guy.
No need.
But we're basing this only off of free agency. Their pickups and how good are they, and your total group. And like,
dude, I gave you grades. I gave you grades on every player on how good that they are, and then I gave you the quarterback.
I know, which is, oh yeah, he's an F.
He is. Sam Darnold is an F-rated player.
So if you usually for a GPA standpoint, you have an A+, or A's are 4.0s, and you have two 3.0s and 4 4.0s. Basically that. And then you have an F.
That's not fair. That is not fair. You gotta go based on how classes do some of their grading sometimes, where final essays are like 50% of the grade, and then you got like these little small exams and quizzes that are like your 25%.
75%.
Like, dude, in class, attendance, it's 10%.
Test 3, test 4. Sam Darnold is a final test, is a final exam.
He is. He's the quarterback.
Grade.
He is because he is the quarterback. All these other guys who are on that list, they are like, we'll say their exams, we'll say quizzes and exams. We'll give them about 70% of the grade, and then the other 30 goes to the quarterback.
So the other 30%. So you're saying
guess what that round down to? A C.
Sam Darnold is 30% of the final grade.
At least.
Okay.
The quarterback
is 30.
This is the quarterback. Okay. It doesn't matter who it is. It's the quarterback. The quarterback is that much of a grade of a team.
So you're saying if you have an F quarterback, you're an F team. You know, you're gonna have the best offensive line, best running back, best wide receiver, best tight end in the league.
No, you are not. You are not an F team if you have a bad quarterback.
Well, that's
you at least go down to a C. You at least go down to a C. Take a look at all these other teams in the league who don't make the playoffs. Think about their quarterbacks for a second. How would you rate their quarterbacks, Matt?
Okay, what team you want to use?
All right, let's go over the Cardinals.
Okay, Kyler Murray, I say he's a C quarterback. He doesn't have good weapons. Rondell Moore left. He doesn't have D-Hop anymore.
All right, yeah. Okay, so he's a C quarterback.
Sucks.
So he's a C quarterback.
Hold on. Time out. This is just said. Bengals sign, not Bengals. Joe Mixon signs a 3-year, $27 million contract extension with Houston that guarantees $13 million guaranteed. Okay.
I have another really good one too. The Patriots.
Okay, Mac Jones.
Think about how their team did last year. Think about it.
That was just a monstrosity. They don't have a good O-line. They don't have a really good running back. Ramondre Stevenson is decent. Last year he was not good. Mac Jones, yes, and Bailey Zappi were not good. I'd probably give them a D. Then you have their defense. Atrocious. Christian Gonzalez goes down. They don't really have anyone besides Matt Judon. Like, their offensive line was mediocre. No true wide receiver one. They're all 3rd and 4th rounds.
How about the Jets?
The Jets? Okay. Zach Wilson. Offensive line, not the best. Defense, I think I can pull this up real quick, but I don't think their defense was the best.
How would you rate the quarterbacks, dude? Like, seriously, how would you rate the quarterbacks? Think about the rating of these quarterbacks on these bottom tier teams.
Okay, so let's
give the team a grade.
You look at them. Look at Bryce Young. You gotta call him an F quarterback because he has 1 year and he did super horrible. His number one wide receiver was a 32-year-old Adam Thielen. I love Adam Thielen, but I'm sorry.
I'm not giving Bryce Young an F. I never said that.
Running backs. You gotta look at this. Minnesota. I think what you're saying is that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying that as okay. Do they have weapons? Do they make the quarterback good if they have weapons? Because we looked at the Patriots. No true wide receiver one. No true running back one. Besides.
You're telling me Kendrick Bourne wasn't the number one wide receiver on the Patriots?
He was hurt. Kendrick Bourne got hurt.
Kendrick Bourne, he was that number one guy, though.
But he was hurt, though. He was hurt for, the last, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was hurt.
Anyways, but this thing about Bryce Young, though, that you're saying, I never said he was an F. I would probably give him a C. And yes, basically everything around him is not good.
Yeah, so I'm looking at...
I'm just talking about the quarterback. I'm just talking about the quarterback position.
Yeah, but also at the same time, I don't have the Jets roster when Sam Darnold was up. I don't really know who was their top wide receiver. I don't know if you have that pulled up right now. Let me look it up. Who was the Jets' number one receiver in 2018? Yeah, so Todd Bowles was the head coach. So this is Sam Darnold's first year, 4-12, pretty bad. Okay, yeah. You're really gonna say Robbie Anderson or Robbie Chosen was the best one, and Quincy Enunwa. Have you ever heard? Besides, I don't think you ever heard of Quincy Enunwa. Robbie Chosen, you've heard of. He didn't even have a 700-yard. Well, he didn't even have 1,000 yards. And okay, let's look at the line. Calvin Bateman, James Carpenter, Spencer Long, Brian Winters, Brandon Shell. Defense, Leonard Williams. Okay, he's good. Basically, Jamal Adams. That's when Jamal Adams was still with them. Jamal Adams is now a free agent. But you look at this offense, like, Bilal Powell, like, was their starting running back. 343 yards. Total rushing.
Yeah, their team's bad.
Yeah, because how are you... Okay, so you're saying that if... Okay, no, I'm not even going to bring that up. So you're saying that... So are you implying that a quarterback with no weapons is set up for failure?
Not set up for failure, but possibly bound to be failure.
Okay. Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, a decent offensive line, Christian Darrisaw on the left side.
See, why do you keep saying this? But think about the Vikings' success after Kirk Cousins got injured. Like, what? Their team absolutely played horrible. They were playoff contenders, and then you end up getting the pass after not.
Then we were for 3/4 of the year. But you just keep
Win. Bruh, didn't you guys win a game 3-0?
Yes, and we still won.
Yeah.
A win's a win.
No offensive production whatsoever.
Yeah, but still, when you don't have weapons, okay. Remember, after basically Cousins got injured, JJ was hurt. So if you're saying that if the quarterback that has no weapons is...
This is so funny, dude. It's not what you're saying is that with Aaron Jones on your team, you guys are like unstoppable.
Did I ever say we were unstoppable?
That's what I'm hearing out of this argument, though. Because you're talking about you got to have weapons to be successful.
Yeah. Okay, look at our running game. Last year, we did not have a running game. Alexander Madison, he's gone. I'm sorry, but he's out the door because he did not live up to it.
Yeah, dude, I already gave you that grade for Aaron Jones. Like,
so...
I said an A+.
I'm trying to waste my last brain cell on this. I'm trying my hardest not to.
Dude, I say we just call this because we've been going for a while.
We've been talking about this like for 40 minutes.
It's kind of funny, dude.
It's funny, and it's going to make a great clip for 40 minutes of just... Oh, my gosh. I still don't... Okay, final thoughts. I still don't think you can put this as an unrated. I think this is an an A- for the Vikings. I think that's what I said.
Well, no, you yeah, you did.
We're moving on.
You cannot tell me that I can't put it as ungraded. Don't we live in America, dude? Like,
yeah, I have my rules as well. I have my entitled opinion. And just like the other side of the political spectrum, if you don't like it, deal with it.
oh man, that's a good way to end it. Wait, did you even give the Packers a grade? Or are you gonna go ungraded?
No, I'll give the Packers I'll give the Packers a grade. To make it fair, because you gave the Vikings a grade. Josh Jacobs, I would say I would much rather kept Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones is the better back out of the two. Xavier McKinney, I think that's a great pickup for you guys. Keyshawn Nixon, I mean, he's just going to be a return specialist. I don't know how much depth you are going to get at corner as of right now. I think you guys are looking at drafting Cooper DeJean. Corey and Tyler, I don't really know. I'll give this a solid, as of right now. Then if we're going to lose at who you lost, I mean, probably give it a B+.
Isn't that what I said or something? Or I might have said like a
B+ or A-. I think you said B or B+.
Yeah.
And that was like 40 minutes ago, so.
I thought we were like taking notes too.
Oh my gosh! But we were just rambling. We were just rambling on for so long.
This might have been one of our funniest debates.
Yeah, you're gonna have to edit this out and just be like ungraded versus graded debate clip.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. I do. I hope you can see where I'm coming from as well.
Yes, I can see where you are coming from.
Okay. That's all we need to know. Because if we understand each other's opinions, it's totally fine.
Anyways,
because we live in America, where opinions are the best. Screw facts, opinions. Let's go, baby.
Well, your opinion is valid.
All right. I think that's going to close off our episode here on Knots.
I'll quickly go over this one last thing, or do you want to just? Because this last thing is kind of important. I'll just recap it real quick. But there's illegal tampering with the Eagles with Saquon Barkley and the Falcons with Kirk Cousins. So basically, there's not much about Kirk Cousins right now, but the thing with Saquon is that his coach at Penn State said that all the agents at Philly were talking to Saquon directly, which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to talk to the agent before the player. Basically, they're saying the Eagles were talking to Saquon to get a deal done, not his agent. Basically, that's the gist that I've got it. Have not heard anything from Kirk Cousins in the Falcons and with the Vikings. So what happens if they do get caught with illegal tampering? Basically, the Eagles and Falcons would have to give up some of their draft picks to the team, so to the Vikings and to the Giants. So they still get to keep the players, but they just will lose draft picks. How many? I do not know. Significance? I do not know. They do not even know if this is all true or not. But that's just kind of the illegal tampering portion of it right now. But that will wrap up our show. After
It was a doozy.
Huh?
It was a doozy. Quoting one of our teachers back in middle school.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeffers, what a legend.
Yes, sir. So,
hold on. Were you there when sorry to interrupt. Were you there when Ben got that bloody nose doing the push-ups in Jeffers' class?
I don't think so. Because was that in algebra?
Man, I can't remember very well.
I wasn't in that class. I was still doing the basic stuff.
But like, yeah, Ben ended up like getting these random bloody noses all the time, and then like,
I remember those.
And he was like totally doing push-ups because like he missed like the homework or something. And then he just started to get a bloody nose in the
We're
class.
talking about Ben Lehman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing
I
is,
was like, I'm pretty sure it's Ben Lehman.
another thing too on here that I've never like really like confessed to like too many people. And it's kind of big. So Jonah and I ended up retaking one of his exams or whatever in his room. Or no, it wasn't a retake. It was the exam because we missed it because of something. I can't remember. But we were in his room, and one of us was like standing out in the hallway, like on guard to make sure like a teacher wasn't coming or anything. This was during recess when we took this test. And Mr. Jeffers left the test and like the answer key out on his desk. So one of us would keep like looking at this exam, and then he also had like this like big bag of Skittles or a big jar of Skittles in there, and we would take some Skittles out of there too. So, dude, we felt so bad because we had essentially cheated on this exam. We essentially cheated on this exam, and then after doing that, we were taking the Skittles to further the guilt trip. But like, I just remember like being outside of the classroom and just like looking around like this, and then I look back at Jonah. I'm just like, all right, yep, coast is clear. Keep writing stuff down. And then once one of us got the exam done, we were just like share each other's exams, but we would make the numbers and stuff look different, so we didn't get caught too much. Because we're like, we can't get a straight up 100%. So you gotta get some of them wrong to make it look like you're kind of like learning the math and material, but such an amazing moment.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, this is gonna start off with a home sideline and the home of Matty Icy. Yeah. Signing off for the home sideline is Matt Crowley, aka Matty Icy.
And signing off here on the away sideline here in Stevens Point is your boy Brenden Retzloff, aka Brett's.golf 99 Brett's Brendini. We thank all of you for joining us on this exciting episode, exhilarating and
Free agents
very
frenzy.
Very crazy episode here on the Dots podcast. As Matt's diving for a catch right now. Probably getting ready for his football season to get back underway. But that's all I got.
All right.
So, all right, folks. We'll see you guys on episode 4. Make sure you check out all of our social medias. Dots Podcast, _ Dots Podcast. It's essentially all Dots Podcast. And then down on the sidelines. Podcast.
TikTok, Instagram. You guys know it. Thank you guys for sticking around for episode 3 of Free Agency Frenzy. We'll see you next time down on the sidelines.
Peace.